Among the most common sexual sins, pregnancy and abortion, all ugly sins, but in and of themselves, they are pernicious evils. So plain and precious. Finally, the Book of Mormon is the keystone of testimony. Just as the arch crumbles if the keystone is removed, so does all the church stand or fall with the truthfulness of the Book of Mormon. The enemies of the church understand this clearly.
Travis Wingetzel. In 325 CE, Roman Emperor Constantine created Christianity, created Jesus as the Christ, replaced the Jews, replaced the Jewish religion, replaced the Jewish scripture interpretation, turned it into literal history, and replaced the Jewish Christ. And as such, the new Christians turned their faith into action to seek out and exterminate the Jews for murdering Jesus. Created out of nothing. Creatio ex nihilo. In 600 CE, Muhammad claimed to be the fulfillment of the Jewish Christ and replaced the Jews, replaced the Jewish religion, replaced the Jewish scripture interpretation, keeping it literal history, but turning it into Islamic history when it was created by Muhammad, 600 CE, and replaced the Jewish Christ by replacing Jesus as the Christ, making him a Muslim spy to come back in the latter days to murder the Christians, as well as the Jews. And so their faith into action was to exterminate both Jews and Christians. And currently we are seeing the war against Israel by all Islam, with their faith turned into action. Can you guess where this is going? Do you follow the church news? Do you follow my channel and know that now that the long weekend is over, I'm back to church news? The main headline story: celebrating faith in action. The Church of Jesus Christ, no longer of Latter-day Saints, because they're preparing for the Millennium, Mormons, in 2023. Turning their faith into action. The Book of Mormon starts us off letting us know it's in the learning of the Jews, which means it is to be interpreted in exactly the same manner as the Bible, the whole Bible. Thus not literal history, thus not about Jesus, thus not to be interpreted as a Christian or Islamist, because to do so is anti-Semitic. Neither Christian nor Islamist has claim to exist, to be true. And so neither does the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They are an enemy threat. As Mormon after 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 Mormon turn their faith into action to send me hate comments and death threats, trying to get me to commit suicide with their bullying and their abuse and their hatred, turning faith into action. And so, the only real new addition, besides the year in review, was Christ and Christmas. 15 quotes from anti-Semitic leaders of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, turning faith into action, to incite Mormons to turn faith into action, to incite violence, to incite anti-Semitism and other hatreds. But there's one person missing on this list, I noticed. Bednar. This is the only one missing. We can go over it. There's Nelson, Oakes, Eyring. So there's the first presidency. And then there's Holland. They had to put him in. They got to keep him alive. Uchtdorf, Cook, Christofferson, Anderson, Rasband, Stevenson, Renland, Gong, Suarez, and even the new guy, Kieran. Where's Bednar? Oops. I've heard his talks. I know he talks about turning faith into action. So he is not exempt from this. In the scriptures, there's faith without works is dead. So is that faith in action? To keep it alive? Or does works mean something else? In Matthew chapter 7, by their fruits we shall know them. In the Book of Mormon, Alma chapter 32, starting in verse 28, we will liken the word unto a seed. And it needs to be produced into a tree with fruit. By their fruits we shall know them. Having faith in the seed that it will produce the results. And by the results we will know whether the seed was good or bad. Whether the word was good or bad. All of these prophets, so-called, are anti-Semites because their word is anti-Semitic. We know them by their fruits, their works. Their works are hatred. Their works are anti-Semitism. Their works are Antichrist. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the great and abominable church with the great and abominable Christ that Joseph Smith told us in verse 19 of the 1838 history. This is the church of the Antichrists. This is the church that has replaced Joseph Smith and replaced the interpretation of the Book of Mormon and have replaced the true Mormon Christ. Happy New Year.